Because of the differences in climate, religion, topography, culture, attitudes, and many other factors, knowledge and appreciation of local market needs are important to the multinational organizations. Vodafone is a British multinational telecommunications company headquartered in London. It's the world's second largest mobile telecommunications company measured by both subscribers and revenue. Upon entering the Japanese market, Vodafone quickly realized that the customer is always right, and all their global expertise in telecommunications was unable to overcome local market consumer needs. Seiyu is a Japanese group of supermarkets, shopping centers, and department stores owned by Walmart Stores Incorporated. Seiyu and Walmart signed a partnership agreement in which Walmart would teach their global supply chain practices. However, many changes were necessary to Walmart's long-standing protocols in order to succeed in the Japanese market. Facebook is a multi-billion-dollar online social network service. As Facebook expanded worldwide into the Japanese market, they quickly began to realize that the differences in markets would hold them back, dominating the Japanese the same way the company dominated the US social market. Telefonica is a Spanish broadband and telecommunications provider with operations in Europe, Asia, North America, and South America. Operating globally, it is the fifth largest mobile network provider in the world. They realized quickly after losing market share in South America that they needed to quickly communicate the right message to the right markets. Upon entering foreign markets, all these companies realized that key local market differences would need to be analyzed and appreciated in order to succeed. Every one of them had a strategy until the consumer hit back. Can you guess what these people are doing? If your answer is no, then you're probably not from this neck of the woods. You probably also don't understand what's important to these people, and you would not have any ideas on how to communicate and market products to fit their needs. On the other hand, a local manager would know exactly what's important to these people, which is why Telefonica decided to strategically use geocentric staffing. This way, the management can form the bridge that connects product or service to the values of this culture. It's too bad that Telefonica doesn't sell chia. Would you believe it if I said this robot understands culture better than people? Well, it's true. Artificial intelligence can process much more information than people after a programmer inputs cultural variables of world regions into the system. Re-engineering with artificial intelligence doesn't change the structure of the company, but it enables people to do much more with their resources. Imagine being able to make a decision in 2 minutes rather than 2 weeks of research. Imagine being able to use technology to show you what 20 different cultures want you to tell them about your company. Imagine removing decision biases from your decision-making process because the artificial intelligence provides you with a quantitative analysis that improves your perspective. This is why Telefonica decided to partner with technologically advanced organizations to help them automate the marketing process around the world.
In case of Walmart entering Japanese market, it faced a lot of obstacles that are mainly driven by the difference in culture. Walmart being so successful in US and other foreign markets, it was natural for them to expect the same level of success in Japan. But Walmart quickly realized that the way Japanese shop, spend, eat, perceive value, and do business was very different from what they had experienced. Low price meant poor quality, shopping is done in small batches and bulk, and more frequently, and distribution center was built up rather than built out, driven by expensive real estate in Japan, which meant they had to be more selective with their merchandise that they carry. Also, culture driven more by collectivism rather than individualism, like US or Canada, clashed when they had to work together. The business strategy that made Walmart successful in US worked against Japan, and things had to change. Glocalization was adapted on four key areas. First, around the Japanese-style stores. The inside of the store looked a lot like what Japanese consumers were familiar with from other supermarkets. And also, Walmart had to cater to the Japanese consumer shopping styles and habits. What this meant, marketing and merchandising had been more selective to cater to their needs. And remember, Japanese consumers are not so driven by price but quality. So the store will highlight quality items in the front part of the store while having some value items throughout the store. And remember, their shopping frequency is higher and they prefer fresh food. So that meant their distribution had to change as well. For example, Japanese consume most amount of fish, fresh fish in the world, not surprising. Walmart had to find a way to deliver fresh food, fresh fish more frequently, which resulted in changing a delivery system to a smaller truck with climate control in the truck. Lastly, people practices. Walmart had to embrace Japanese culture, where work relationship among colleagues reminded more of a family connection, and that was often seen as ineffective by Western standard. Japanese were slow to react, and also no one particular person was accountable for any mistakes. And this is something that we've learned that we see often in a collectivism culture. Walmart initially wanted to lay off significant amount of Japanese staff, but soon realized that working together was the only way to survive and thrive.
In the last decade, social media has taken a great leap. With 1.1 billion users, Facebook is the biggest social media platform in the world. Through Facebook, 14% of the world's population can interconnect and exchange information. It looks like the social network is everywhere. But in the last year, Facebook has lost market share in Japan. In 1 year, more than 5 million Japanese users closed their Facebook accounts, and the question is, why has this happened? And the answer is because Facebook is guided by a one-size-fits-all strategy. Facebook is present in more than 50 nations, but the social network doesn't have a customized product per country, which means that Facebook doesn't take into consideration the cultural needs of different groups. Specifically in Japan, Facebook hasn't responded to the cultural values of society, and this is having a clear impact in the quantity of active users. Boasting about someone's personal life is frowned upon in the Japanese culture, and Facebook is seen as a platform that has become exclusively for people who have very successful lives offline. This social network is facing cultural barriers because what Facebook offers doesn't go hand in hand with what Japanese users need, want, and like. Facebook is taking action. They are thinking globally but acting locally, which means that in Japan they are moving towards a global strategy. Facebook has created a team to specifically respond to the culture discrepancies they are facing in Japan. But this effort should be expanded to the 50-plus countries where the network is present. Facebook needs to adopt a global strategy and customize its products and messages in order to respond to the cultural values and needs of all its users.
Vodafone went from hero to zero in just a few short years when it tried to launch its operations in the very competitive Japanese cellular market. Though they had started off strong, Vodafone made a number of fatal errors that could have easily been rectified with a glocalized marketing approach. Rather than cater to Japanese customers who go crazy over flashy designs and fun ringtones, Vodafone pulled their popular new camera phone in Japan because it wasn't in keeping with their global strategy. Pretty soon, Vodafone's subscription count plummeted, their phones and brands seen as unoriginal and boring. Within 4 years, Vodafone exited the market, having racked up a bill of more than $8 billion for the effort. The primary concepts behind glocalized marketing are nothing new. It really comes down to some of the core principles that are required for running any successful business. First and foremost, don't force a fit between strategy and market. Ultimately, the customer always comes first. Second, when developing a global strategy, always make room for the flexibility to adapt to new market needs. Next, don't neglect a thorough analysis of the new market. Invest in the initial screening research and it'll more than make up for the expenditure down the line. And finally, when entering a foreign market for the first time, rely on the experience and expertise of local personnel. Smart integration of this market knowledge is critical to success. For this project, we chose to look specifically at the regional market of Japan, because it's been such a difficult one for Western companies to break into. But the lessons learned in all four cases, both the triumphs and failures, have applicability throughout international markets and across industries. While it's tempting for multinational companies to apply a one-size-fits-all approach across the board, we've seen time and time again the pitfalls of this kind of standardization. Our conclusion is that global standardization can in fact work, but that adapting to local needs and regional market demands is also a must-have when developing strategy. Paying attention to the complexities of culture has and always will be a critical element to running successful operations internationally.